where to go, so.
Hello, Angie and Drew. I'm Kay.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Great to meet you both.
To meet you.
Good to put a face with a name.
Yes, always good.
They don't usually turn off all the agendas, but I went ahead and made a kind of packet for you, so that's a nice agenda.
Oh,
You guys can,
thank you.
figure it out in the future, but happy to put it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
And then it's just that orientation binder,
Okay.
I can go over afterwards.
thank you.
Thanks so much.
Brian, you know Bailey will be here tonight? She will not.
Okay.
Okay, so we will call the meeting to order.
Flag right there.
You were there.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we do roll call, I just wanted to have our two new, arts and culture, commissioners introduce themselves. So I'll start with Drew and then Angie.
Hi. Drew Braley, Principal and Studio Director of Landscape Architecture with Browning Day. So we are a architecture, landscape architecture, interior design firm. I'm Fisher's resident, and also we're fortunate to have worked on quite a few of the projects in and around town. Geist Waterfront Park being probably the most recent one to look forward to being here. Thanks for having me.
Angie Fraser, Business Development Director for American Structure Plumbing, architects, engineers, consulting firm. I was with the City of Westfield when I met Ross. We were on a creative economies initiative together where we were trying to get Westfield to get a cultural arts district. Maybe Kayla can make that happen. So happy to be here, interested, and Fisher's resident, of course.
She was the director of Westwood Welcome, which is their, equivalent to our first.
Welcome. Thank you.
Roll call? Yes. Cecilia?
Here.
Katie? Here. Marisol's not with us tonight. Jocelyn?
Here.
And Angie?
Here.
Drew?
Here.
You.
A little icebreaker. So today, usually we just like favorite car, favorite vacation spot, things like that. So I thought we'd make it a little different today. What is the image that is on your wallpaper on your iPhone or your phone?
Get to prove it or fix
No,
it?
no. You can make it out.
Mine is of the Grand Canyon.
Mine is of our family. 11-year-old boy-girl twins and a 7-year-old boy. My wife Renee. We're celebrating 16 years on Friday.
Ooh.
Oh, congrats.
Personal phone is a mountain, and work phone is the new, City Hall building.
No. From 2016, I remember.
Same thing. I need to change. I was thinking the other day, I was like, they're now in their 20s. This was like when they were 11 and 12, and then one of my husband and I.
Aw.
Mine is at the Monet Loom at they have set up a total photo op the bridge with the water lilies, like the bridge of Gavarni, and so I just love it. It's so beautiful, and we had a good, nice stranger take the photo for us, and it's perfect, so.
I was just at the Loom. It is just wonderful.
Oh, it's stunning.
Wonderful. But, my phone is the Gulf of Mexico sunset.
Mine is the tulip fields of Amsterdam, where I'm in my writing. That's it.
Oh, nice.
Currently, picture of Jordan Donica who just got nominated for Valley.
Oh, wow.
Mine's about 11 years old, 2 hours after.
Maternity pictures that we just took.
Aw.
Nice.
So we've added an item to the agenda. We had a vice chair, and he was left commission to elect a new vice chair. And so I'm opening up the floor for some nominations.
So I nominate Jocelyn Bayer for vice chair.
Thank you. I accept the nomination, yes.
Yep, so, staff is a non-voting member, so, everyone here can vote or abstain if you're uncomfortable, but, we have a chair and then a vice chair if she's not, or he is not available to. So, in this instance, Jocelyn would, run the meeting if Katie was not available.
All in favor for Jocelyn to be the new vice chair?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks, everyone.
Mhm.
All right, next voting item, consent agenda. I hope everyone had an opportunity to read the agenda for the meeting and so the approval of the minutes, the financial report for March and May. We didn't have a meeting last time. So again, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
And second.
And before the vote, I just wanted to point out, there was no change from the March, financial report
I was
either.
gonna ask about that.
So here's a copy of that, the March and the May look the same. So what this is showing is out of the 60,000 that the commission receives annually from, city council, you have a remainder of 9,250. And then the commission also oversees the town hall building corp funds. They were granted around 240,000 a couple years ago, and you're now currently sitting at this town hall building funds are rolling, so we don't have to use them by the end of the year. But the 60,000 that you are granted from city council, we do have to use by the end of the year.
Is that calendar year?
That is calendar year, yes. And we have two items tonight that will, you guys will vote on, that will be coming out of that 9,000.
We have a first and a second. Do you have any questions about?
Nope. Mm-mm.
That was
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And on to new business. Fisher's Parks update?
So, we'll let, Samantha go over, the community relations, and then a couple items for the Fishers Park. So Marissa is on vacation, but Samantha has a couple of things she'd like to highlight.
Yeah, a couple, so bear with me. Okay, so, we have the live wall installation going in a couple of weeks, at the Nickel Place Trail, kind of like right before the,
The
It is on
tunnel?
Switch Road.
yeah, it's on the truck. I think those plans are being delivered on the 22nd, so the week of the 22nd, hopefully, installation will happen that week. We broke ground on the event center, at the end of March. It was great. Indian School was there, Thompson Thrift, HSB Schools and their mascots and marching bands. Students will get to graduate there. Once it is open, the first class that will be able to do it is, class of 2025. So obviously, most people know it's an extension of the Fishers District. We've already announced the first tenant, which is Chicken and Pickle, which people are really excited about. It's the first in Indiana, and it's scheduled to open in 2024. We've onboarded ASM Global, who will book all of our shows and things that are going to happen out of the event center. There's none scheduled as of yet, but they are on board now. And we'll update more about the suites and other tenants throughout the rest of this year. But we've had great community feedback on that so far. City Hall and Art Center, there's a lot of progress on the construction, as you guys can see. They'll begin slab pouring on Thursday for the foundation, or I guess for the slab. We did a community bean signing, which was super popular and successful. They placed it on the third floor, I believe it's on this side. On the third floor, the community came out and everyone really enjoyed putting their names on it. We're working on a community letter signing. People will be able to write a letter to a future Fishers resident, and we'll put it in the time capsule and open that in 50 years when we open open the full-time capsule. That campaign will last from about mid-May to the end of June. So more updates will come on that in the coming weeks. We'll also provide more construction updates at the July meeting for this committee. We did just do an article in the Fishers Magazine. It will be in there in June, where Mayor Fadness and Mark Williams from the International Arts Center were interviewed for it and talked about the new city hall. So that will be in Fishers Magazine in June. And we're trying to keep communication going with the city hall updates. We know there will be a lot of people here this summer, and we'll see everything that's going on, so we want to make sure that we're constantly communicating those updates. So we have the volunteer appreciation event next week, where we're going to honor all of our volunteers who completed 11 or more hours throughout last year, which is going to be a mix and mingle and give them awards and gifts next Thursday. So we're excited about that. We have Fishers Day of Service that was hosted by the Fishers High School, where all students for the morning from I think 9 to noon went all throughout the community and did different service projects. And one of the big things is they painted all the hydrants throughout the city, and some actually Indy as well. We're working to launch new steward programs that are similar to our Nickel Plate Trail Stewards program and our Bridgeville Library program. We're going to do rain garden stewards, park stewards. If you guys have any other ideas, we'd love to hear them, and we're open to other opportunities to get the community involved. We have summer events coming up. We're busy promoting all the summer events, including the Fishers Farmers Market, which started last weekend. Spark is coming up June 21st. Everyone's excited about that. We're doing a lighted show this year in lieu of fireworks. We're going to do the summer concert series, Tuesday night free concerts, and then Saturday ticketed shows. We'll continue to announce more acts on that in the coming weeks. We are planning for Guys Half Marathon as well. We know it's in September this year, but we're ramping up promotion. We just did a mini marathon expo downtown. We got a lot of registrations for that. We have a team of ambassadors who are local runners helping promote that. We plan to have a lot of booths this summer, and working with a lot of local organizations and community members to make sure that this is a really community-focused race. We do have 600 volunteer opportunities, so if anyone's interested or knows anyone interested, please visit our volunteer website and sign up for that. It's a great opportunity for businesses to participate. And you can meet with me or Amy Krell for that. And then the last two things are Fishers Honors. We did the Vietnam Day Veterans Program. It was really great. We got knowledge services, and we're looking forward to another great Memorial Day event on May 29th here at the AMP at 10 a.m. And then also we opened up our Citizens Academy, Mayor's Youth Academy, which is for high school juniors and seniors with 3.5 and above. It's open now through the end of June. And the City Government Academy, which is for anyone 18 or older to kind of get inside look on the city, what we do, all the different departments. That will open June 5th and be open through the end of July. I'm going on maternity leave, so this is my last meeting for a while. Ashley and Stephanie will be sitting in. Ashley will be here for the July meeting to give you guys updates on all of these things. And if you guys need anything, obviously they'll be more than willing to help. So I will be back in the September next meeting after July? September meeting, so see you guys then. Does anyone have any questions on anything? I know it's a lot of information.
Yes, I want to know, what are you having? Are you having a boy or a girl, or do you know?
A boy.
A boy, congratulations.
Yes, I have a 12-year-old girl, and I can afford another one of her. Hair, nails, all that.
Oh,
So that's the boy.
wonderful, congrats.
What is your due date? June 14th. Yeah, we're down to the wire.
Yay, good for you.
Yeah.
Wishing you the best.
Thank you very much.
Great. So these next items are voting items, so we will need a request to have a motion, a second, and then a vote on all of these. So the first one is the 2023 Creative Council Professional Service Agreement. So a bit of a background, in the past, we used Nickel Plate Arts as a contract for the city. We used them for multiple years. A lot of what Nickel Plate Arts did for us, including RFQ work, staff has taken on ourselves. So our request to Nickel Plate Arts has been diminished over the past couple years. This committee themselves are reviewing those every year, and each year we're requesting less of them. Ryan is still going to be our liaison whenever we need anything from Nickel Plate Arts. But with that, the city and staff has looked at a different opportunity, which is Fishers Art Council. They are local, nonprofit. We have two representatives here. You have Les Reinhardt, which is the executive director, and Laura Valine, who is the current president. So with this is looking at a professional service agreement that they would oversee the Creative Council. What the Creative Council is a kind of ad hoc group of all of our local art groups, nonprofits, anyone who has received a grant from us in the past. It is an open door group, so people come, they leave, but the intent of that is they meet on the off months of this commission, and then whoever is kind of our liaison to that group, we can use them to ask questions, and vice versa. So this is something that was thought up during the 2019 master plan. Drew brought that up in our conversations. This was an opportunity to make sure that everyone's voices were still being heard, but allows the commission to function as well. This is looking for the remainder of the year, starting June through the end of the year. And then you will likely see this come at the end of each year so we can have it prepped for the following. I would imagine the city using Fishers Art Council for the foreseeable future. So this is a request for a professional service agreement for $2,000. That would be coming out of that remainder of $9,000 that the commission still has. Happy to answer any questions. Laura's here. She has a great plan set forward for what they're thinking of for the next year. Laura, do you want a couple bullet points maybe?
Well, actually, I'm just going to kind of read verbatim what I wrote, so it sounds a little more eloquent than being off the cuff. Our goal is to better communicate amongst our local groups to build a stronger arts community in Fishers. With the excitement of the Arts Center and City Hall opening next year, we, meaning the City of Fishers and the Fishers Arts Council, are wanting to find better ways to add value to each group by cross-promoting more and bringing a stronger awareness of our offerings to the residents. So we're just going to try to communicate more, get our messages out a little cleaner, which is kind of hilarious because that's the most challenging thing to do in the world. But it's really fun because we've already had an initial conversation with the Indianapolis Arts Center team and Ashley Elrod about how to do this opening, and so we've got some ideas in the works, but we want to kind of integrate some of these other groups before we cement ideas in. So it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to it.
If they are chosen with this agreement, they would have a non-voting position on the commission, and so you would expect to have a report from them every year.
Any questions for Laura and Ross about this open?
I guess it's just a lump sum amount for the 6 months period?
Yes, we would just do, at this point, we would do one lump sum.
For the balance of this year,
Yes.
so whatever the tasks are, that's.
Yes, their main task is to,
Yes.
but their main task is to have, bi-monthly meetings and then reporting back to you.
Sure.
Oh, may I make a quick comment? That is, first of all, I just want to recognize Ailey, McGill, and Ryan for managing the Creative Council so far. I do know it's like herding cats, but it's so important and valuable. So I just feel like you and Ailey have set us up very well for this next era, is really what it is as this building comes to life. And I will say, this is our main pathway, the Creative Council, the main avenue for the creative community to communicate with this body and the city and decision makers and listen to their ideas. So I'm excited that Fishers Arts Council, Fishers Arts Council will take the lead on this, so excited.
Well, thank you, and thank you for bringing up, Haley and Ryan's role, because it's really been, it makes it a lot easier for us to just kind of slip into their shoes and just be a different voice, yelling at the cat.
But they're creative cats, and they have a lot of great ideas, so I can't wait to see what happens next.
I'm pretty excited, though. I think, especially the attitude of the Arts Center has been really, really positive about how they really want to showcase when they do their grand opening and try and figure out how we can showcase, you know, the acting and the dance and the visual arts and just get it all kind of flowing out there. So I think that'll be a fun.
I'm excited. Good.
May I have a motion to approve the professional services agreement with Fishers Arts Council?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Oh, great. This next item is our 2023 maintenance assessment. Last year, we did our first maintenance assessment of our 32, I think now 33, as the Wilkinson Brothers has finished their latest mural in Fishers. And this is with Bros Partington. I wrote it down. I still couldn't pronounce it. He's an independent artist who last year went through all of our public art and did an assessment. And the intent behind this is to do an annual assessment. This is something that, again, came out of our 2019 master plan. That was, Fishers is pretty new and shiny with our public art. We do know that we will have some inevitable maintenance on that. And we'd like to keep our public art as fresh and as great as we can. With this, we recognize that staff does not have the expertise to go look at sculptures, murals, different types of public art, and do a true assessment on that. So this is the second year we've been doing this. It's something we would like to do annually after the project is complete. So this would be the request to enter into an agreement with Bros and his team for assessment for the second year. Again, not to exceed $2,000. I don't have a quote yet from him, but last year we were around $1,700. There was a couple pieces that were missed, so we'd like to make sure that those are done. Add in any new pieces that we have. And then the intent behind this is that it's done in the spring, and then you guys will get that report this summer, and then if we need to make any plans for the following year, we can do that.
Yeah, based on his recommendations, there are some.
Correct. Yeah, and one other point that Les actually brought up, so thank you for bringing that up. A lot of these artists are local Indiana artists, which is great when it comes to having to maintain some of these. So the city, whether it's a public piece or a private piece, would never enter into any of work unless the artist was involved or a representation or representative of the artist. So some of these pieces, while they appear to be public, are privately owned. So that's another layer added to that. There's a couple pieces, I know Fishers Art Council specifically had a maintenance agreement on the piece on Handle. So some of these already have some mechanisms behind them.
Just to clarify, the maintenance that was recommended here when it's done would be on a project by project, and the artist would do it, or at least be somehow involved with it, or.
So the last assessment that we did, or last maintenance that we did, I think was in 2021. A couple of our electrical boxes, one got damaged in a car accident. So we hired the artist back, and at that point it was easier for him to just repaint the two boxes.
Yeah.
So that one, the assessment didn't, it was clear that the one was done. And so the city did a contract with the artist. So again, this is just an assessment of all the work. Any maintenance that comes out of that would be outside of this.
So I guess the 2022 assessment, do you know, what was the value of that contract? Was it the same?
I believe it's a piece by piece basis, and I believe it was around 1,700.
Okay.
So staff is requesting the vote to be not to exceed $2,000.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, I mean, if it's a relook at all the stuff that we've already made the recommendations for, I would think some of that would be simpler this go around. There's some that are new or that didn't get done, obviously, but,
Yeah,
and I don't know.
possibly, I mean, they're all different materials.
Yeah,
I
they
guess,
wear
so
differently over the year.
what
Yeah.
we do in the museum is always redo the outdoor sculpture annually. Tell that by Floyd.
Yeah.
But that's the best practice essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, in theory, he has all the photos and his,
Right.
and
Yeah, well,
the structure and he's building based on the number of work.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so it's probably, yeah. Okay, so may I have a motion to approve the maintenance assessment?
I'll motion to approve the maintenance assessment.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, this next one, so just a little debrief on this. I talked earlier about, the Town Hall Building Corp funds. One thing that the commission, did earlier this year was create a business matching grant. So this allowed businesses, HOAs, nonprofit organizations, anyone who is really interested in providing public art to the community, the commission would match up to $25,000. The expectation is they would also, upfront up to $25,000. We've had one project so far, it's still in the works, that is with an automotive company along 37, and they chose artist Coda Witskin, so that's Alderman Auto, so they're doing a piece on their building. These are open for the 2 months, so this is cycle 2. This one right here was with Berkeley Grove HOA. We had a representative here. The HOA unfortunately had some damage to some property, so they don't have it in the budget this year. So, well, actually, you guys won't have to vote on this tonight, but I did want to show you this. This is a project that the city is working on, worth of Berkeley Grove HOA. 106 right here. See those cars in the bottom right corner? That's the Hub and Spoke building. This is a crucial gap in our pedestrian network right here, that the city has worked with the HOA and is actually constructing this on HOA property. So this is really exciting. I would anticipate next year, the intent was to put some sort of public art piece here on their property. Like I said, unfortunately, they didn't have the matching funds at this point right now, so you guys don't have anything to vote on. But I did still want to show you this because it's crucial, and it's actually under construction right now, if you go on the Nickel Blade Trail. So we're excited to see this fill in, and to have an HOA work with the city on this.
So Ross, the next steps on this, like they'll reapply or,
Yes, they would reapply.
okay,
He was here, but he was like, we're not going to be able to do it. So I was like,
oh,
thank you for coming. You don't have to stay.
How do we get the word out about this?
So the city has done a couple of blasts. I think there's an opportunity too, and I can work with Samantha's team on, we included, I believe, in our HOA newsletter. That goes out to HOAs, and then we bring it up a lot in development projects as an opportunity for, because we always want to encourage public art, and it's like, that can be expensive, and we said, we understand that, and artists do need to be paid a livable wage, and so here's an opportunity that we can try to, so we've used it a lot in development. So I would anticipate seeing more of them in the future. We just haven't received it now and earlier this year.
Okay, we're ready to move on to the community comment section. Nickel Plate Art.
We have just a couple exhibits coming up. We have one at Meyer Najum for the next couple of months it's Mark Timbus. It's a one-man show. And there's a reception June 2nd from 5 to 8 evening. And then 4-Day Ray has Free Flowing by Joey Tilson Cobb. And nothing better than art and food for my taste. But there's a reception May 22nd, 4:30 to 7:30. And then just a couple of deadlines for artists, if any of you are artists or know artists. June 10th is the deadline for Art Fair in the Square, Noblesville, Fine Arts, more visual arts in nature. And then May 26th is the Max Fest deadline, which used to be Maker Fair. So more maker, more crafts is not the right word, but close, make it close. But yeah, a little make stuff. And so, giant thing, we'll have Fun Fest. We'll be there Juneteenth, Strawberry Festival, so want to be part of that. The deadline is May 26th. And those couple of you, I know we talked about Fairville, or Ask Fairville was amazing, and we may have finally almost recovered.
And the builder of the salamander.
The great,
I'm never opening my mouth again.
the giant salamander, yes.
The giant salamander has taken over his
It's
office.
currently just a giant head in my office. Most of them have a green salamander head. So, if you come to Nickel Plate Arts, I'll give you a real tour, but then you can sneak in my office and see the salamander head. It's worth it.
Okay, is that everything? Let's move on to Fishers Arts Council.
I am excited to say that, I put out a challenge at the last meeting for the commissioners of this lovely group to come to events at the, that the Fishers Arts Council puts on. And I have almost had 100% attendance, which I thank you so much. Katie was actually a judge for our high school show, and that was really tough. But it was really, those kids were so excited. And our attendance has been off the charts at all these events, so it's been really great. So you two are next on my hit list.
Oh, and I have to miss the first one. We get a pass on this first one?
That you can't, you have a whole calendar year to get to.
Okay.
To see, we do an event every month. And the one coming up is the Forgiving Sea, and that plays into Mental Health Awareness Month in May. And it is a really interesting project. Les has actually seen the installation of it, but it's a marriage of the music and the art, and it's a community participation. So you can write your name or write something on this piece of art that you need to let go of, and eventually she paints over it, and it goes, and it's just a thing that keeps moving forward. It's really fascinating, and it really resonates with a lot of people. So do you have anything else to add to that?
It's by Carolyn Springer, and the music is by Joseph Lamb and Music Hypnotica. And it is, it's very inclusive. We have experiences for those that are vision impaired. We have experiences for those that are audiologically impaired. So there's a lot of different ways to experience the exhibit and move through it. And as Laura mentioned, it focuses on forgiveness for mental health. And yes, as we get enough written on the art, the sea will wash it away and add a new layer. So you can also see the Forgiving Sea when it started in 2019, I think. You will see the different iterations of it. So we have the Forgiving Sea 1 final panel, session 2, session 3. We now have session 4, and then there is the Sanibel project, which is in the border. Lots to see and experience.
Gave them grant money to do this project.
Mhm.
So you guys actually funded this project, or partially funded it. So that's very much appreciated as well.
And it does have 4 events. So we just had one on the 6th.
Yeah, the yoga.
Did a yoga experience, and we did a guided meditation through forgiveness, and we had Paula Lord from Gym Roots and the Pranic Healing Community come out for that, and that was a nice group event. And then with Second Friday, there are 2 lectures coming up, one on May the 16th and one on May the 25th, both lunchtime from 12:15 to 1.
So I just think it's a really tremendous approach to tackling mental health, or not tackling it, but, you know, participating and trying to be engaged with such a big issue. And what was the other thing I wanted to tell you? Oh, following that, so in another month, I won't see you in our off month, but that will be Summer Shine. And so that will be a variety of different artists that have applied for that. And it's very summer-based theme that will be on display then, and then I'll be back in July to to encourage you to come and do those exhibits. And it seems like there's one other thing I wanted to tell you. Oh, fun fact, maybe I shouldn't say this yet. That's really neat. So what, Les came up with this really good idea, and we have a board member who's gonna take this project further, but our goal is we're kind of revamping our website, but we're also gonna add all the public art in Fishers to our website. with, tags, with QR codes. And so that when people see it, they'll have a landing site to go to and learn more about the artist or whatever more information they would like to have. So I'm really excited about this project coming to life.
That tie in with some of the maintenance assessment noted, I think there were several comments
I'm not
about needing
charged.
tags or titles or something.
Yes, yeah, it's kind of an all-encompassing and something that the commission has asked to do a couple of years ago. We were also receiving some grant funds from the state that the city's going to partner with the Art Council specifically on starting this sort of a pilot program in our downtown area and then see what we can do as we move forward. That is a goal of that maintenance. So when a resident or visitor comes, they can find out a little bit about the artist, a little bit of the background, and they have some really cool goals about maybe some interactive videos or something.
And then there's also 2 art fairs.
Oh, yeah. On to Spark Fishers, which is out of Parks Department, because we also play with parks. And they're doing car and art in the middle of the Spark Fishers Week. And if you go to that, but you really have to make sure you see me or less. Because I credit you. But I think that's another really fun super event that's fun to get engaged with. And then we also have Harvest Fest, which comes up September 10th.
But we are the fiscal sponsor for Juneteenth
Oh, I keep
Jubilee.
forgetting about that.
And so Juneteenth Jubilee will be on Juneteenth from 5 to 8 at Conner Prairie. So we're working with the Future Black Leaders Club of Fishers High School with that. We've got a lot of sponsors. The kids are very excited and they're working their butts off with that project. And then the other thing, since Parks is not here, Gabe from the Parks Department and I have been working on a banner project to go around the development center. And so we have selected 21 pieces of art. And I want to say 12 or 14 artists. So we're really excited about putting that up, and we'll be working on the curation of the banners, and then the Parks Department will be putting them around the site.
So that's along the fence, so we don't look at an ugly fence anymore. It's gonna be art for the next year.
It'll be local art, and we'll be celebrating Fishers in the second centennial, so we've got a good range, we have a lot of professionals and some amateurs as well, and we've got some really great art that's gonna go up there, photography and mixed media and traditional work as well.
Les, back to the Juneteenth
Yes.
event. Where can we find information about that?
FishersArtsCouncil.org.
I love that. Oh, good.
Or you can just go to our website and click the Juneteenth button.
What time does that start?
Perfect.
That's from 5 to 8 p.m. on the 19th. We will have bounce houses, food trucks, Black-owned businesses and artists, vendors. We're anticipating about 60 vendors. And then Conner Prairie will have balloon rides open. We'll also have indie music and wellness to work on music therapies and drones. And then we're still working out the live performers, but we do have an entertainment application open as well.
Excellent. Thank you.
And there's
Good.
I think we've hit 3 out of the 4. We had the dates, the last one on here. This is another commission-funded project. This is Arts, Culture, and Appetizers. This is put on by Alpha Kappa Alpha and the Chi Chi Omega chapter as part of the Emerging Pearls Foundation. And that is on June 23rd. And that will be at Hub and Spoke. That part was left off. It's from 7 to 10. And again, that was another second funded project on your agenda.
Great to see them.
Yeah. Jocelyn, do you have a couple notes about the art event that's going on tonight?
Yeah, so actually, I think it starts at 7 or 7:30. 7. The Fishers Music Works is having a performance at Hub and Spoke. It's a free performance that is the Mudsock Jazz combo with the Fishers Community Chorus together. So this should be a really fun celebration, and it's free and at one of our favorite venues, of course, Hub and Spoke. So I invite you to head over that way afterwards.
So can everything that we just talked about, is that also on City of Fishers? Right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
on the
so we're
event. Yep,
cross-promoting.
that is
all of
correct.
it.
Yep. And any one of these groups, like the Emerging Pearls Foundation or Forgiving Sea or PR team, I know we have said and shares.
Great. So do we have a sense of, did we have a recording? Talk about like an impact for some.
Yeah, we have report from last year about attendance, and then what we've tried to do, instead of having us wait until January to kind of get that recap, as soon as the project is over, working with them right then to kind of get like a best practice, what happened, what worked, how can we help you in the future. Some events like Fisher Art Council, they go throughout the year, so, you know, we'll wait until then, but they're really good at reporting. So Fisher Art Council actually has the best, data that they collect, because they have a counter at their events, and so they know exactly how many people come. They have a breakdown of how much money and stuff they spend.
If I made the performance tonight that I mentioned at Hub and Spoke with Fisher's Music Works is 7:30. So you have time to grab a bite
Nice.
and head that way, 7:30.
And the other reason I called you out is I think I saw you share it on social media.
I did.
So I was like, Jaslyn knows more.
I did, but I forgot the time, 7:30.
Thank you.
Any other announcements? Like a record meeting, I don't think we've ever done this in an hour, have we?
I may tag on, Samantha, we've exchanged emails this week, but didn't know, hadn't met yet, but, we are working, this is a little self-fulfilling, but Browning Day is working on the White River Park master plan, and so we are working with Ashley and Samantha and Jake and team to schedule public engagement opportunities, so those will have happened by the next time we meet, so, I believe we're gonna be looking at a farmer's market booth here on Saturday, May 20th, and then a booth out at Geist Waterfront Park on June 3rd for a few hours. And then we're gonna do at the Hub and Spoke, we're gonna do an evening, like, open house and presentation. So we're in the early stages of kind of the due diligence, site analysis, and, you know, we're not coming with concepts, we're coming to get feedback and ideas and see what people wanna hear. Ideally, there will be a survey, online too, with 6 or 8 questions, that we can blast out. So, if you're interested. keep
I was
that.
at your park, when was it, on Friday?
Hey, guys, yeah,
It was packed.
that's
Mm.
great.
It was so fun, and that ship is amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
a signature, other than the beach. It was a
Yeah,
signature, you know,
and I went on the not finished yet trail, it's really gonna be good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was super close.
Yeah, that's great.
Drew, when you have all those dates finalized and everything, do you
Mhm.
mind, just replying all to, the agenda? So
Yeah.
that everyone has those dates and they can
Yeah.
attend if they'd like.
Sure.
Thank
Yeah, and we'll be working with them to push that out to
Everyone, yep.
through a variety of media.
Angie, anything? Okay.
All exciting stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, just have a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn the meeting? Yeah, I got one.
I will give that motion to adjourn. Yes.
Second.
In favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, great. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Very efficient.
Must be the new board members.
Yeah.
Yeah.